Day 3 and the actual final day of Packers mandatory minicamp is here. Typically, in years past, minicamp spans 3 days, like it did this year, but on the third day, they usually did a team building activity. And after yesterday's practice, which I assumed would be the last, Matt LaFleur said, isn't practice a team building activity. We will be practicing tomorrow. So I was under the impression in yesterday's videos that was the last day of minicamp. It's actually today. This is the official last day of Packers minicamp. So we have some highlights to go over from the warm-ups during today's practice. It's a pretty light practice, so not a crazy amount to go over, but there are some important notes. If you happen to be a new viewer to this channel and you're just checking in for the first time, maybe the second time, I'd highly suggest going down and hitting the subscribe button. You'll stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers this offseason, and every single day there's a practice open to the media. You'll find highlights just like this video, as well as a recap video going over everything that happened at the practice. So if that does interest you, definitely go down and click subscribe. Appreciate all the endless support you guys have given over OTAs and minicamp thus far. All right, so let's dive right in. And in this first clip in the Don Hutson Center before practice, we do have a clip of Nate Hobbs warming up, similar to the last 2 days where we saw Christian Watson warming up using the medicine ball here. This is interesting, and I'm showing you guys this because Nate Hobbs was absent from minicamp day 2 yesterday. Now, I would assume it's just a rest day because he also missed the second day of OTAs. So I don't know if the Packers are just giving some certain players rest days or whatnot, or it's something small they were just monitoring, being precautious about. But he did return in today's last day of minicamp. As we see, here he is on the field right before practice, number 21, Nate Hobbs. Now, there are some new additions into the rehab group, such as Jayden Reed, Kamal Hadden, and Omar Brown. So although Nate Hobbs has returned, another cornerback is now in the rehab group in Kamal Hadden, and Jayden Reed in there. Didn't like to see that, but you know, we got 6 more weeks until training camp. I doubt any of these are serious injuries. Again, they're not disclosed, but those are the 3 new additions to the rehab group. Here's a quick clip of Savion Williams catching a pass and kind of diving into the end zone there. Matthew Golden at the top of the screen as well. Savion still in this red non-contact jersey. It hasn't been said why he's in a red non-contact jersey, and I'm shocked no one's asked Matt LaFleur after any of the practices, but nonetheless, it doesn't look like anything's up with him in terms of injury. He's been practicing throughout the entirety of OTAs and minicamp. He just has the red jersey on. And here's a clip of Cornelius Johnson in number 84 there. Yesterday was a huge practice for Johnson. During the 2-minute drills for the second team, he was the only player to catch a pass during that drill. He caught 4 passes for 48 yards, which set up a game-winning field goal for that 2-minute drill by the Malik Willis-led offense. So Cornelius Johnson, you know, most likely not going to make the 53-man roster with how many receivers we have, but definitely has shown out so far to show his bid to make the practice squad. Here's more of Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. I haven't seen this drill. I'm assuming it's trying to simulate right on the goal line to catch the ball and kind of fall back into the end zone, secure the football, and just kind of get down to the ground into the end zone. We saw Savion do it in the couple clips prior to this. And they're also working on, you know, stack releases here to, you know, quick curl stick concept, that sort of thing on the goal line. As we see, Matthew Golden, their 1st-round pick, and Savion Williams, their 3rd-round pick. Then we also have Sam Brown here working on some goal line work, doing an out route at the back of the end zone. When everyone was asking for the Packers to go and get Davante Adams this offseason, it looks like we have Davante Adams at home, rocking the number 17 with the dreads. I mean, he doesn't run a route like Davante Adams, but you know, we have Davante Adams at home. We're all good guys. All jokes aside, Sam Brown, definitely a guy that is a practice squad candidate, undrafted free agent out of Miami. Played in Houston, was the number 1 receiver at Houston 2 years ago with teammate Matt Golden at the time, and it's likely why the Packers signed Sam Brown after watching Matthew Golden's tape. Sam Brown likely popped up on that tape a lot as well. Here's a longer clip of the quarterbacks throwing some passes to wide receivers. At the bottom, we have Jordan Love throwing to Romeo Doubs. At the top, Malik Willis throwing to McCole Hardman. And McCole Hardman's had a terrific OTA/mini camp so far. The last 2 days ending in touchdowns to McCole Hardman. Yesterday's being the most impressive, a 73-yard bomb from Jordan Love to McCole Hardman. I actually posted the short of that highlight on my channel. The Packers actually, for once, posted an 11v11 highlight, which I'm all for. I hope they do that more. But you also see Sean Clifford on the outside throwing a Texas route to Emmanuel Wilson. And then here at the bottom, we have Tucker Kraft, I believe is going to be catching a pass, yes, from Jordan Love on the outside there, kind of running a reverse zig to the back of the end zone. Here's a clip of the safeties getting some work in, and primarily you're focused on number 37, who is Jonathan Baldwin, listed as a cornerback for the Green Bay Packers. But yesterday we saw him take some snaps at safety, and now he's working with the safeties during warm-up. So likely a little bit of a switch there, putting him with the safety group. The Packers like Jonathan Baldwin a lot. They signed him to an undrafted free agent deal, but gave him, I think, $115,000 guaranteed. So when you give a guarantee to an undrafted free agent, that means you like the player a lot. And Baldwin does have a case to make the roster, but if not, he'll definitely be on the practice squad. Here's a clip of the defensive backs working through a cone drill. There is Jonathan Baldwin yet again. So then you see Gregory Jr. He's the corner that got burnt by McCole Hardman for that 73-yard touchdown before. Then you still have Bo Melton working with the defensive backs. Of course, it's not a minicamp highlight video if we don't see Bo Melton still working with the defensive backs. I think Katana Ladapo went through that drill right before him. I mean, there's been a lot of discourse over this whole Bo Melton thing. A lot of people upset about it, that this is the Packers' course of action after Jair Alexander. I don't think it's a correlation at all. I think it's Bo Melton just cross-training to give what he can to this football team, hopefully make this roster. And as I said in other videos, you know, if he's a guy that can give you depth at two different positions and be a massive contributor on special teams, which he already is, you know, that's a huge plus. That's a good player to have, right? Not necessarily saying he's going to become a starting cornerback on this football team. It'd be interesting to see if he does make the 53, say if the Packers suffer like an injury in a game, if he did get some defensive snaps. I'd honestly love to see it, but I know a lot of people are out here clamoring for the Packers to go sign a veteran free agent at cornerback. And the one thing I'll say about this is, what has changed from last year? The Packers mainly played without Jair Alexander. The only game they allowed a 100-yard wide receiver was week 1, and it was really against Jair Alexander. It was A.J. Brown. They upgraded Eric Stokes to Nate Hobbs, which he's a better cornerback. He has inside-outside versatility, and he's simply just better than Eric Stokes. It's going to be year 3 of Carrington Valentine. He was really handcuffed last year because they were forcing snaps to Eric Stokes. It's year 2 of Javon Bullard, who's going to be really committing to that nickel position. I'm sure he'll still play some safety, but last year he was, you know, pretty much split 50-50 between two positions, and it's really not often a rookie does that. He's got to learn two different things. So really, and the Packers pass defense was pretty good last year. I think the problem was the pass rush. No matter how good your cornerbacks are, if you can't get after the quarterback quick enough, you can't cover that long. It's simply not going to happen. And Keyshawn Nixon, this is year 2 playing fully boundary. And last year, playing full boundary was his best year as a Green Bay Packer. So yeah, the Packers could go out and sign a veteran free agent at cornerback like a James Bradbury or bring back Rasul Douglas, but I don't really think it's necessary. I don't think you need to bring in a veteran to be a starter. We have our starters right now. Now, a lot of people don't like that Keyshawn Nixon is our cornerback 1. I'm much higher on Nixon than a lot of people are. But what I will agree with is the back end depth of this cornerback room is lacking, right? Kamal Hadden entered the rehab group today. Someone like him needs to step up, right? Kalen King has a cast on his forearm. Now, LaFleur did say he'll be ready by training camp, but will he step up? We also have Micah Robinson, who I haven't really heard much about so far, our 7th-round draft selection. Now, if they wanted to bring in a veteran to be a depth guy, like the 4th cornerback up, and pay minimal money for, I'm okay with that. But I don't think they need to bring in a James Bradbury or Stephon Gilmore. I don't really know how that helps the team right now, if I'm being honest, and I think they're better off with what they have. They just need to, you know, kind of really round out that depth. So those are all the clips I have from the final day of Green Bay Packers mandatory minicamp. I'll release a video in a couple hours going over everything that happened during the team sessions in today's practice, so be on the lookout for that. But I really appreciate you guys coming by to the video. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Packers.